I went ice skating today. It reminded me of you and the time we went together back in high school. It was so long ago, I wonder if you'd even remember. I wonder if you remember me. It's been forever since we last spoke. The edges of your face have grown blurry with time, but my heart remembers yours vividly. That night we went ice skating in the freezing rink, with cold air gnawing at our faces. I had never felt warmer. We went with our friends, but I couldn't tell you who. In my head, it was just you and me, alone on an empty rink. You grabbed my hand a moment before we both took a step on the ice, legs wobbling as we teetered on our skates. You told me you couldn't skate, that we had to hold hands so you didn't fall. I refrained from telling you I couldn't skate either, the confession blanking from my mind the moment your fingers interlaced with mine. We stepped on out together, scrambling for purchase against each other and the rink wall. Not even a minute in, nor 5 feet from the entrance, I lost my footing. Slipping, I yanked you down with me as I hit the floor. It wasn't a gentle fall. It was fast and hard and ripped a hole in the knees of my favorite pants. I was mortified. I looked over to check if you were all right. Instead, you laughed. It was the best thing I had ever heard. It was loud and echoed harshly against the ice, but filled my cold, achy bones with a fuzzy warmth that made me forget I was sprawled out on the icy floor. When we finally pulled ourselves up off the floor, your hand found mine again, and you tugged me forward, despite my protests. We stumbled forward, knees wobbling like a foal learning how to walk. Hand in hand, we went around the rink, our fingers slotted together in a tight grip. I was afraid to let go for even a moment, in case our hands never found each other again. I liked how your skin felt like velvet against mine, soft in ways I didn't know hands could be. Lap after lap we went, falling and sliding and bumping, far from graceful, but it was still perfect. I never wanted to leave. I don't know if my heart ever did. I think you were my first love. I loved you in ways I wasn't ready to let myself feel. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had bent down and kissed you in that rink like my heart desperately ached to do. If soft lips had met soft lips. What would have happened if my first kiss had been there with you on the ice and not with some guy who I didn't even like and whose name I barely remember? I never told you about it, but it was awful. I ducked the first time he leaned in to kiss me. His lips were rough and stubble itchy. I knew I was supposed to want it, to like it, but I didn't. I didn't want him to touch me. I don't think I would have ducked if it had been you. I wouldn't have cringed away after it was done. Maybe I wouldn't have felt so ashamed. If it had been you, I wonder how much time I would have saved myself from chasing after boys I would never like, and a version of myself that didn't exist. We don't talk anymore. I wish I had had the nerves to have told you back then what you meant to me. How much space you occupied in my heart. I'm sorry I wasn't ready to admit to myself all of the burning feelings you stirred within me. I'm sorry I was too much of a coward to kiss you. Today, as I stepped onto the ice, I wondered if you've ever been back to a rink. If you've ever grabbed someone else's hand the way you grabbed mine. I hope so. I hope you've laughed as loudly and freely as you did that night. I hope someone else got to hear that beautiful, unrestrained sound and felt it reverberate in their chest the way I did. But a selfish part of me wishes that memory is just ours. That maybe, even if you don't remember the details, there's still a piece of me left somewhere in the corners of your heart. Maybe when you're not looking for it, the thought of me sneaks up on you the way the memory of you does to me.